Hello, everybody out there. Welcome to the BEA world. Welcome to this stage. My name is Aragorn Meulendijks, and some people call me Mr. Metaverse. I work at a company called Beemup, where we are building your open metaverse, which is going to be an open platform for creators, content creators, brands, and basically anybody who wants to build virtual experiences for the future. And now you're probably thinking to yourself, what does that even mean? What's going on with the metaverse and why is everybody talking about this thing? Is this just another hype? Is it another bubble? Is this something nuts that our kids are doing right now, but people will have forgotten about in a few years? And I'm here to tell you that none of that is really the case. So I'm going to take you on a little journey. If you are at home right now, I want you to close your eyes and listen to my voice. Imagine that you're lying in bed. The sun is falling on your face, and the warmth of it slowly wakes you up. It's a new day. You get up, you sit on the edge of your bed, and you're trying to decide whether you're going to put on a pair of pants or just a t-shirt because, that's more comfortable. You stand up and you walk to your computer because a few moments from now, you'll have to get on stage and talk about that year's sales performance of your company to thousands of employees from around the world. You sit down, you put on a pair of glasses, you log in, and you walk onto the stage in a virtual world somewhere in the metaverse. That might seem very far away, a future that you can't possibly see coming into reality, but it's actually just around the corner. As the pandemic has shown us in the last few years, there is an increasing need for people to be able to experience things, to be part of things, whether it be a business meeting or a concert, without having to leave the safety of their home. And of course, I know all of us are looking towards a future where this pandemic is gone and we don't have to worry about going outside anymore. And that's great. That's great. And we will have that. And we will go back to reality as it once was. But at the same time, what we know now, what has been shown to us as a result of this time is that there is a real place for virtual experiences, for doing things online so that you don't need to leave your home. And to just give you an example of that, just before the pandemic broke out, Microsoft did a big, kind of experiment in Japan where they said to their employees, right, from now on, you're going to work from home every Friday and you're not going to come into the office. And we're going to see what that does with productivity. And what happened was that productivity went up and cost for Microsoft went down significantly. And that experience has been copied for many companies throughout the world during the pandemic, where they saw that productivity could actually go up and they have a lot less cost. Now, look at that from a sustainability perspective. What if we can really drastically reduce our resource usage and at the same time build new experiences, increase the possibility of experiences for everybody around the world? Of course, there are technological hurdles there, but it's not something that we cannot really solve. Now, before I continue, I want to show you guys a little video. I'm pretty sure that there's a guy right now called Stefan who's going to help me out with a video that he's going to show you guys. Is that correct, Stefan? Are you there? Right. So I'm very sorry because I actually sent that video over and there was subtitles with it in English, but they weren't turned on for this showing. So for those of you out there, which is probably a lot of people that don't actually speak English, the gist of this video was that back in 1998, they asked people, would you want a mobile phone? And these people said, hell no, I don't need a mobile phone. Why would I want a mobile phone? One of them even said, look, if I'm ever in an emergency, there's always a farmer or a telephone booth nearby. So I really don't need a mobile phone. And then later on in the video, there was a recording of people in 2013. And there was this one guy who was the same guy as the guy from 1998. And who said that, I got an answering machine. Why would I need a mobile phone? And then he actually had a mobile phone and he said, yeah, I'm using it. And then they asked him, do you know what 4G is? And he said, like, yeah, it's pretty quick internet. And he said, like, do you need that? Do you have it? He said, like, no, I don't have it. And then he basically said he didn't need that either, right? And the funny thing is that I guarantee you that if we go and find this guy today, he has a phone with 5G on it. I guarantee it, right? And this is the reason I'm showing this is because it shows a trend. It shows the fact that very often with these kind of really impactful developments, especially when it comes to communication and the internet, and a lot of people will say, no, I don't need that. I don't want that. It's not necessary. I can't see myself using that. But the truth is that most of these people don't really know or understand at that point in time how it will impact their lives, what it's going to do for them, with them, and how it will be able to change their lives, both positive and negative, of course. I mean, the internet's not all good. Social media is not all good. I'm not saying that. So I just wanted to illustrate that with that little video. Now, if you are one of those people out there right now, I did see you saw the subtitles, Stefan? Okay, that's amazing. Thank you so much. I didn't see them, but if everybody did see them, that's great. So if you're one of those people out there now that might be skeptical regarding the metaverse, I want to pose you the following. I'm going to go into my presentation here. I don't know if any of you have kids, but if you do, some of them might be playing a little game called Minecraft. Now, to give you a little idea, Minecraft was first initiated in 2011, or first released in 2011 is the correct wording. And there's about 126 active million players, 54% of which are boys aged 3 to 12. Now, that's not to say there's no girls playing this game. Don't get me wrong. There's lots of girls playing Minecraft as well. It's just that the percentage for boys is so significant. 54% is, I mean, think about that. That's really high. And I'm talking about kids here in Western Europe and the US, by the way. I can't speak for other parts of the world, but I'm pretty sure that in China, it's going to be probably something like this as well. So that's really high. And if you think about it, this is already kind of a metaverse, right? These kids, they exist in a different virtual world where they're going about all kinds of daily activities, co-creating new worlds on their own, because that's what Minecraft's all about. It's about crafting. Here's another game. It's a game called Star Citizen, and it's been in development since 2012. It was launched as a Kickstarter project. Now, just to give you an idea, it says here 3 million customers. That's because in Star Citizen, you can buy spaceships. You can buy spaceships, you can buy experiences, you can buy all kinds of stuff, virtual assets, and you pay for them with real money. And up until this point, over 350 million has been invested and spent on virtual assets in Star Citizen by players, by people, by grown-up men and women and non-gender people, I'm sure, to live in this world, right? And this game isn't even finished. This is still in development. This is still in early beta. I mean, this game consists of parts that don't even really function together right now, but that's what's being spent on it. And then there's Roblox. So I'm sure there's parents out there right now watching this very presentation, and they have kids, and I guarantee you that some of your kids will be playing Roblox. 50% of US kids under 16 are playing Roblox, right? That's a significant amount. And I can tell you it's pretty much more or less the same here in Europe. And these kids, they're asking their parents right now, they're asking their parents for Christmas if they can get Roblox currency. So they're going to get virtual currency, which is not a cryptocurrency, but it's a virtual currency, so that when they come home after Christmas, they can buy merchandise or cosmetics or aesthetics for their virtual avatar, which is a part of their life. It's an extension of their identity. And it's an identity that they're using right now to interact with their friends, to impress their friends, to build social standing, all of that stuff. Things that humanity has been doing for millions of years. And now they're doing it in a virtual world. But perhaps you're going to say, well, Aragorn, that's kids, it's kids and some crazy people. And how will the metaverse really connect to the real world? It's all virtual. I introduced you Pokemon Go. Right now, there's about 827,000 daily users playing this game. And Pokemon Go is not all in a virtual world. It's using your phone to see virtual things in the real world as an augmented reality overlay. So if you're thinking of the metaverse, which is some kind of, futuristic utopia, or perhaps for you, it's a futuristic horror scenario where we're all living in virtual space, forget about it. The metaverse is also going to be a layer in between the two, connecting the internet, connecting our wealth of information, and connecting all these virtual worlds out there to our real daily, day-to-day experience. Pokemon Go is a game. I mean, I have a really good friend called Michael, and he's 38, like me. He has a kid, and he says Pokemon Go is amazing for me because I've always been a gamer, but I wanted to work out more. I wanted to be outside. I wanted to be physically active. And with Pokemon Go, I'm playing a game, but I go outside, and I'm still, having that experience, but I'm also being active. Now, this is only entertainment, but imagine that in the very near future, you'll be walking into a meeting. You'll be wearing glasses. Snap is a company that's developing these glasses, just one company, there's several. And these glasses are connected to your phone. So you walk into a meeting, you're looking at whoever's in the meeting with you, and you get a pop-up, okay, this was the last question this employee sent you by email. This is their LinkedIn profile. This is the latest post on social media. And this is, we're just scratching the surface here, but this is a possibility. And that information will be sent to you instantly through your glasses as you are looking at the real world through augmented reality, right? It's just one way the metaverse will be impacting our lives. And this is going to happen not, 10 years from now. This is going to be happening in the next 5 years. People are going to start using this stuff. And I know that, we had Google Glass, and that was not a big success in the public view because of privacy issues, but they didn't stop the development. That's just something that went B2B, and they're using it there. And it's going to come back because now, I think the public is now more willing to accept the positive possibilities that this opens up. All right. Another interesting thing to talk about. There's a game I play, Apex Legends, and in this game, just like in Fortnite, by the way, they're starting to do collaboration with real world brands. So in this case, the example is Market Streetwear, which did a collaboration with this game where they released a fashion line in the game, right? So they're buying people, grown-up men like me and younger kids are going in this game and they're buying virtual fashion so that they can wear it in the game. This is already happening. Travis Scott gave a Fortnite concert for 45 million visitors in Fortnite. This is happening. This is right now. This is today. And this is just the early adopters. This is the younger generation. But it's going to be coming. EVE Online is a space game where in this year alone, they destroyed $700,000 worth of virtual assets. So this is assets that people bought in the game, spaceships, etc. They went to a battle, they fought a battle, they lost their spaceship, and they paid like a few $1,000s for the spaceship, and now it's gone. This is today. This is happening right now. So if you're skeptic about the metaverse, try and think about this. Think about where this is taking us. Think about the fact that there's already millions of people out there doing this, experiencing this. And the technology that's supporting all of this is only just maturing now, right? The ability to real-time render photorealistic images, to overlay that on reality through glasses, to have facial expressions being integrated into your virtual avatar in a realistic level. All of that is only now taking shape and coming into its own. And that means that there's going to be a big change. And another big change on top of that is the development of blockchain technology, in this case, NFTs. Because for those of you who have heard about NFTs recently, NFTs allow us to authenticate virtual and physical assets on a blockchain, decentralized, without anyone needed. Like, there's no organization needed to validate this. So if I want to register that this phone, right, truly belongs to me, I'm not seeing my phone because I'm sharing my presentation. But if I want to prove that this phone is mine, I could just register it on a blockchain through an NFT. But I can do the same with a virtual phone that I'm using in a virtual space. And so this development on the side of the metaverse is creating this new kind of box of Pandora stuff, where there's all these interconnections going on, where there's a possibilities to create decentralized, safe online worlds where you are in control of your data. I'm going to go back to me. Sorry. where you are in control of your data, or where you as a brand or an artist or a content creator are totally in control of your data. You don't have to share it with anybody. You don't have to hire anybody to connect or engage through that data with your audience. You can do that because blockchain technology and NFTs will enable you to do that, right? Yeah. So that's a development that's going on right now. That's why the metaverse, what's happening with the metaverse. And so some people might be worried because they're seeing a company like the artist formerly known as Facebook, aka Meta, coming out and saying, no, we're building the metaverse, right? And that might be something really scary, because we know what Facebook did with our data before, right? They've been monetizing our private data about what we're doing, where we're going in this virtual world. In a way, it's like somebody had been filming you all day long, going about your business, going to your job, going to pick up your kids from school, going to the grocery store, buying, whatever you like to have for breakfast. They filmed all of that, and then they sold that to a marketing company. Imagine that. That's pretty crazy, right? But that's what they've been doing. That's what happened. So out there in the world right now, there's a lot of people that are like, I don't want that. It's my data. It's my privacy. And so when we're moving into this new virtual world, they don't want to be abused that way again, if that's a word, or violated again like that. And that's why this blockchain technology, this NFT technology is so important, because that will allow people to still have that virtual life and be in control of that. And so control of their own data. So this is a really important question to ask. Would you trust Meta with your virtual life? And I think for me, the answer is no. And I think for most people, the answer is no. And that's why this whole metaverse thing in combination with NFTs is so important. So here's a little video, just to give you an idea of what a virtual space can already look like. If it's created, you could go here real time. This is something we made for Blockchain's conference in Hamburg. There's a QR code. If you want to you can scan this and you can claim an airdrop on our token for your open metaverse. But what I really want to do now is, I see that I've been talking for 20 minutes straight, and I want to give all of you out there an opportunity to ask me questions about the metaverse, about how that develops with blockchain, about your open metaverse, the platform that we're building to enable all of this. So go ahead, shoot. You can type your question in chat if you want to. Right, Stefan? They can do that. Is Stefan still there? Or I think you can also unmute yourself. Not sure. I think so.
You can use the chat. You can't unmute.
Thank you, Matilda. While I'm waiting for a question to come in, perhaps you guys can do a raise of your hands, your virtual hand, that is, How many of you have kids that play Roblox? There's one. Oh, there's one. NQ as a kid that plays Roblox. Anybody else? Ilaria says, I didn't know what I was before today. Yeah. That can also be the case, of course. I guess I can't see you guys, so it's kind of hard for me to judge, your age and what kind of phase in your life you're in, which can be handy. There are going to be a lot of different metaverse worlds. How do we choose which to use for what purpose? Very good question. Thank you, Jay van der Haar. It's a very good question. And it's the truth is, it's going to be very hard for me to answer that, because ultimately what's going to happen is that, just like if you look, one of the words that are being used to describe this current development is Web 3.0, right? And Web 3.0 basically says, well, we had the first rise of the internet and the World Wide Web, end of the 90s, which was Web 1.0, the birth of websites with information. And then we had the birth of social media starting in 1999 with forums where people could interact, and they had a profile, and that cascaded into Facebook and then Reddit, and then all these other social media platforms that came with it. So the development of these platforms will play a big role in that, because ultimately what I think is going to happen is that there will be different metaverses, just like there are different countries right now or different continents. And these different metaverses, they will, because people there have a virtual identity, it will allow them to really free themselves from any prejudice that exists in the real world. I mean, any of you that are looking out at the real world right now will know that, there's a lot of, difficulty around diversity and acceptance between different cultural groups and ethnic backgrounds and sexual preference or identity, all of that stuff. But on the internet, none of that really exists, because we all start basically as a bit. We're nothing, we're nobody. Our kids truly understand that this allows us to be anything and anyone that we really want to be. And so what I think is ultimately going to happen is that people are going to find each other in this space in different places based on their preference, their interests, their hobbies, the way they want to shape themselves, or the way they want to experience or interact. And that will lead to the rise of virtual culture, right? It will lead to the rise of a completely new identities that are separated from nationality. And so what are you going to use which world for? I don't know, because there's going to be a million new worlds out there for different purposes. And that will also ultimately shape, where we're going. But the great thing about the metaverse is that what it's trying to achieve, what we're trying to achieve at your open metaverse, is that you will be able to traverse from world to world, experience to experience, space to space, seamlessly, right? And you can take your profile with you. Right now, if you are on Facebook and you go to a different social media, you basically have to leave your profile behind. If for those of you, I'm still on dating apps. if I go into a new dating app, I need to basically fill in everything again. And sometimes this is your opportunity. It says, oh, you want to use your Facebook profile, stuff like that. But basically, you have to create a new profile, right? But in the future, you will be able to take that profile with you, because it's in a blockchain, and all these metaverses are connected to a blockchain, and it will be perfectly safe, and you can take your profile with you wherever you go. So your virtual identity, just like your real world identity, will become a permanent thing that you take with you everywhere. And that will also impact where, that means that it won't really matter. You don't have to make a choice, because you'll be able to go anywhere. Does that make sense? It's a very long answer. I know it's kind of futurism that we're doing here, trying to predict what's going to happen. Any other questions? I got another 5 minutes to fill here, people. You got to help me. Yeah, it is very complicated, but it's also very exciting, I think. People are now buying lots of virtual land in the metaverse, most of them to make money. And is this a phase we need to get through before it's going to be mainstream, like crypto probably will be? Yeah, that's another great question. So I think, well, this is, let me first off say that this is a personal view I have, but I think that what's happening now in virtual land sales and NFTs for virtual real estate, it's bullshit. Yeah, I'm using that word. It's very harsh, but it's truly what I believe. For the simple reason that the whole idea behind real estate and real estate value, in my opinion, has to do with location and scarcity. And scarcity is a result of location to a very big extent, right? Because if you want to be in New York downtown, because that's where the financial world is, then there's only limited space. And in the virtual world, there's no limited space. There's no limitation to space, right? Unless you artificially create it. There's also no sense of location, because unlike in the real world where you need to commute from A to B, and so you're going to pass by this certain stretch of highway every day, and so if they put a big billboard up there, it's going to be useful, and therefore that space where that billboard is situated is value real estate. That doesn't exist either in the virtual world, because you don't have to go from A to B. You can probably go anywhere instantly in the metaverse, especially. You can just go through, click a button and you'll be there. So that whole idea is completely useless. Well, it's not going to be long-term, I think. But right now, it does serve to build the hype and awareness of the possibilities that the blockchain is bringing with it and the possibilities that the metaverse is bringing with it. But what you're really seeing there is that people are basically projecting old-fashioned ideas onto a new world. It's a little bit, well, what would be a good example? I can't even come up with a good example right now. But basically, they're taking it's a little bit like Google printing your email out at the back of your computer, driving it across country in a car, and then sticking it in a new computer so that they can read the email, right? That's basically what they're trying to do with things like Decentraland. But it's a necessary step we need to go through for people to kind of start adopting it. And the amazing thing about NFTs is that that's going to make crypto for a lot of people accessible without them really knowing it. So a lot of people that up until this point have said, I don't want to partake in that, they're now going to be exposed to it, because if they're interested in art, and then NFTs they will come in contact with NFTs, because this is going to be a new way to authenticate items, even physical items. And so there's going to be all these new initiatives and these pragmatic solutions coming out of the NFT blockchain tech that will expose people to it that never thought that they would partake in it at all. So in a way, you're right in your initial question. It's probably a phase we'll have to go through. Long answer again, so sorry. It's it's my pleasure. It is exciting times. We have 2 more minutes, I think. Is that correct, Matilda? I think Matilda's very busy. Well, if there's any more questions out there, feel free. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. So while I'm waiting for the next question, if you guys want to know more about your open metaverse, the platform that we're building, you can go to yom.community, which is our website. You can find anything there about our tokenomics if you're into crypto and into NFTs and you have any idea about that. You can also find our roadmap there, what we're trying to do, what we're going to be doing next year, building these first experiences on the platform. You can also find us on Telegram, which is over there. And we are on Twitter over here at JomToken. So you can find me on LinkedIn. My name is Aragorn Meulendijks. And I'm happy to engage with anybody that's reaching out.